To start using a website called Animatron Studio, and I'm just going to give you a quick little tour and show you how to make some things move using keyframes. I'm going to start by clicking Start Creating, and it's going to have me log in. For you, I would just click on your Google account, and it will start an account for you quickly. So just make it your school. So you can see it recognized me from previous things. So I'm just going to start with a blank project. This doesn't look blank, but I will start another one. So I'm going up here to Project, New Project. It looks like I might need to go back to my previous projects. I think I have a limit to how many projects I can make with a free account, but that's alright. I'm just going to clear this one and start with this one. So I have to unlock that background in order to delete it. Alright, so we've got a fresh screen here, and you can see that they have some stuff available. So just a little tour here. You have your design tab. This is where you add things to your project and position them and maybe resize them, things like that. And then animation is when you start to make things move. So we're going to be going between these two. Light is another mode where it provides pre-created stuff, but you don't have that much control, so we're going to not use light. So we're going to start with design, and I'm going to go over here to my shape tool, and this is a circle. I'll click on it, and then now that I've clicked on it, you'll see that there's a couple things that are there that you can start with. You can change the color. We can make that ball red, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to then go ahead and draw my shape, and then you see that it has a bunch of controls of things that I can do with it. So some of the things that we're going to be using, we can modify the size of it, which is called scale, and we can also rotate it. With a circle, you can't tell it's rotating very easily because it's staying the same. And then opacity would be how transparent or opaque it is. So we might be changing some of those things. So while I'm in design mode, I'm going to just drag this off the screen to here, and we're going to make this object move onto the screen, move across the screen, and in order to do that, we're going to use the animation mode. So we're going to switch it now. So this is starting off the screen, switch to animation, and you can see now I have a timeline for this object. So this is the first frame, and if I change the time, so give it maybe half a second, and then move the ball onto the screen, you can see the path that it's going to follow. And now between here and here, it makes that change. So a keyframe is a marker that shows how something's going to change. We don't have to create every frame, we just have to tell it at this point I want it to be there. So we're going to keep going with this. Just move to the next half second. I'm going to move this down to here. We'll have it bounce on the bottom. And another thing we can do to this object is, as it is here, we can make it squash a little bit. And then I'm going to change it in time here. We can have it decompress, and then we can have it start to move again. So you can see each of these markers means something, and if I go back to each one, you'll see what's happening with each of those things that's happening. So it bounced to there. We'll give it a little more. It's losing some of its energy. You know, this is how gravity works. Okay, I'm going to keep moving. and then it's finally going to slowly roll off the page going straight this way. So it's going to kind of stay level. So if we watch what happens, we'll just go ahead and play that. Okay, so there's some things about it that aren't totally natural, but that's alright. It's just a experiment. We could work on the physics of it more if we wanted to. But something we can do to kind of make some things a little bit more natural is when you hover between two keyframes, if I do a right click, okay, I can do set easing. This gives you different profiles to how it starts and stops its movements. So if we go to cubic, you can see that it kind of starts slow, speeds up, and slows down again. They call that easy in or ease in, ease out. Some of those things describe it. So then I'm going to go to the next one, set easing, and I'm going to set this to, we'll keep going with cubic, but it's going to make it a little bit more dynamic and a little bit more, like it'll speed up and slow down in ways that are more natural or interesting. So I'm just going to use cubic for all of these. And it's hard to tell. I think we could zoom in a little bit maybe to make sure our hand is in between. It's kind of a small space there. I'll go here and we'll set it to cubic. And those are called, we usually call them ease in, ease out, or easy ease if you're using Final Cut. But in this little program, they call them your easing settings, and they have these little profiles that you can use to follow them. So I'm just doing it to all of them right now, setting them all to cubic, and then for this last one here, it seems like that one might be better to have it start fast and slow down. Let's try that one. Maybe let's try this one here. See how that looks. Oh, that goes faster. Let's see what this one does. All I know is I think it's moving pretty fast, but I think this one looks good. We'll try that. And then what I can also do is, if I want that ball to roll slower, I can drag this keyframe further out so that it takes longer to get there. So it'll be a long, let's see what happens if we play it from there. Yeah, that has less energy. So we're gonna, it might have been a little too slow. I'm just gonna bring it back a little bit, make sure I'm grabbing it. Okay, there we go. So those are some things you can do, and you can see that what I've just done is I've just kind of animated this one shape, but there's things that you can do to it as well at other points. So some other things that I'm going to change is so you saw me change we distorted it right here, which is cool. And then you could also change the size of it right here with scale. What we were changing each time we put it in a new place, that was changing position. So if I skim through this, you'll see the position changing. Watch this box right here. You'll see the position change the whole time. So you'll see that constant change of the X and Y position as it moves. So that's what's going on there. And if I wanted to, I could change the opacity of this shape each time. You could have it keep changing, and you'll see it kind of go transparent there and then come back. So that's something that you could do if you wanted to. And to undo that, I would have to go back to each point where there was a change and boost it back up to normal. So if I go here, just undo it by dragging it up to 100%. So those are some things you can change. You can make things flash, you can make things spin, you can distort things. So those are all some animation things. So when you're finished and you've created something that has movements in it, we want to output our movie. So we're going to hit, oh no, that was for import. We want to export, so here's our share button. I thought that was a share button, but it's probably, maybe that's just an import icon. We'll do download. So you can have some choices here. If you wanted to create sounds for this, it would be a good idea to export it as a video, because then you can bring it into WeVideo and add sound. And then you can also share and send it to, I think this gives you a kind of like a preview. Let's see what happens. Yep, there's our preview. And I believe you can set it at places like YouTube and things like that. But I think right now downloading it as a video is our best option. And because I have a free account, I think I only have these options. So we're going to do standard, continue. We'll continue with restrictions. That's okay. We'll have a watermark on there. That's all right. So we'll hit render. It's going to go ahead and create my video. And then I'll click on the download button. And now in my browser, I've got this video. I'm going to open it. So here's my video file. And you can see the Animatron watermark there. And you can see my the red ball is bouncing. There we go. This extra time we could trim out. We did have a little bit of extra space there. There's probably something we can do in the program to fix that. So, all right. I hope that you were able to see how to get around a little bit, how to make something, how to keyframe it, how keyframing works. It's very similar to how you would use keyframes in Final Cut and After Effects.